Welcome to another Pie-Crustable Math Shorts. In this video, we're going to solve quadratic equations from the Vertex form. It's not magic, it's math. First, we're going to look at the process, a couple examples, and then a self-quiz to see how much you learned. Finally, the video task, because if you don't practice, you're not going to get good at it. Let's look at the process. Here are two equations in Vertex form. If you've learned function notation, you'll be familiar with f of x equals a parentheses x minus h squared plus k. If you're not, you'll be more familiar with y equals a parentheses x minus h squared plus k. It doesn't matter which one you use. The first thing that we're going to do is replace f of x or y with 0. We need to isolate the a parentheses x minus h squared term on one side of the equal sign. Now it doesn't matter which side. If there's an a, divide both sides by it. We need to get rid of the a. Take the square root of both sides, and finally, solve for x. Let's see how all of that works together. Let's look at our first equation. F of x equals negative 5 parentheses x plus 6 squared plus 20. First thing we're going to do is we're going to put 0 in for f of x. Now, we're going to subtract 20 from both sides of the equal sign. That's because we want the square to be on one side. We don't want the negative 5 there. We don't want the a. So we're going to divide by negative 5 on both sides. This gives us 4 equals parentheses x plus 6 squared. Now we're going to take the square root of both sides. The square root of 4 is plus or minus 2. And the square root cancel, giving us x plus 6. We're going to have two separate equations. 2 equals x plus 6 and negative 2 equals x plus 6. We're going to subtract 6 from both sides, so it looks like negative 4 equals x. Let's do the second equation. I'm going to subtract 6 from both sides. This gives us negative 8 equals x. And those are our two answers. Let's look at the next example. F of x equals 8 parentheses x minus 4 squared minus 72. First, we're going to replace f of x with 0. Now, we're going to add 72 to both sides of the equal sign. The reason is we need to get the square by itself. We don't want the 8 there. So the opposite of multiplying is dividing. Now we have 9 equals parentheses x minus 4 squared. To get rid of the square, we're going to square root. Now we have plus or minus the square root of 9 equals the square root of x minus 4 squared. The square root of 9 is 3, so we have plus or minus 3 equals. We cancel the square and the square root, which gives us x minus 4. Let's look at our two answers. In the first equation, we're going to have 3 equals x minus 4. The second equation is going to be negative 3 equals x minus 4. We're going to add 4 to both sides, so 7 equals x. In the second equation, we're going to add 4 to both sides, and that gives us 1 equals x. And that turns out to be our two answers.